I am unashamed. What about you?
So welcome back to Unashamed. As promised, Jase, we have promised and now we have delivered. We said we were starting the new year off with a bang. The very special guest.
Thank you, guys.
Willie.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's good to be back.
We're so glad to have Willie.
It's good to be back again.
And Willie, you brought somebody with you. Who's this guy?
Yeah,
You just
bro.
picked him up?
Who is this guy? Well, we've been trying for 30 minutes to explain to Jase who Dave Ramsey is.
I have apologized. I told you. My line on that was my dad.
Jase's like, who's the other guy here?
My dad told me that I had fallen through a crack in society, but that was okay. I'm surviving.
You fell through a crack, all right. You fell through a crack out of that Volkswagen. We used to drive around and hit the pavement.
Had the hole in the bottom.
My son showed me one clip of your show because he said you had a radio show, which then I said, are they still doing radio? But you explained to me that it's the same kind of thing we're doing. You have radio or
podcast / internet where everybody is.
He showed me one clip and I thought, yep, common sense and blunt. I see how this guy has been successful. So I'm hooked.
There you go. Well, common sense is so rare now, it's like having a superpower. So
That's true.
Yeah.
Well,
true.
Dave, I'm just glad you got validated by Jase. So I'm glad because I know you're often wondering. Did it work or did it not?
Is this all going to work out or not?
Now,
Here was Jason's question today. Dave sits down here at our table and he says, do you use the Bible?
No, I said, do you
In any of
use
your-
the Bible
in any of your Q&As?
in
That's
your
what he asked.
Q&As? I was just curious.
You
I thought,
finally made it to Jase. This is like a tribe in South America who finally gets the word of God. Jase finally understands who Dave Ramsey is.
Well,
I
my
knew who
wife
he was a
said-
long time ago.
What's
I know
that?
Larry that came out. Lord bless all those guys down there in New Guinea.
my wife said that we would agree almost everything, and she listens to your show. So,
Dave, I listened to your show back in the talk radio. I was a huge talk radio guy.
Yeah.
And I was a ditto head, so it was Rush Limbaugh.
yeah.
And you were
local. I was on local here, and there was a guy named Griffon.
Moon Griffon.
Griffon.
You remember him,
I was
Zach?
on Moon's show several times. We came down here and did an event in West Monroe, 25 years ago.
So
at the
this was
Baptist
one of
Church.
your early markets, big probably.
Yeah, it was an early market. 25 years ago. Yeah, I mean it was a long. We probably had 100 stations.
This really moved the needle.
150
It was
stations.
early.
But I remember Moon because he's a character and he's a lot of fun. And the state we filled that Baptist church up downtown, whatever it was. It's real nice.
First
people.
Baptist
First
Monroe.
Baptist.
And that pastor ended up over in Orlando.
Oh, that's
that's
David Youth.
David
yeah.
Youth, yeah.
Yeah, I ran into David. I was actually using that church as a venue too, 20 years later. And I look up doing our mic check, and he's walking down the aisle, and I went, "Look at this." Guy comes up.
We did
gone
the
full
Crimson
circle.
Gospel there
Yeah, he's a great guy.
at Davis Church, yeah.
Yeah, well, Louisiana's full of characters. So
Kind of like Tennessee.
All right, so so we have to open, and we've told, I don't know, have we told this story on the podcast? But we
I've never listened to the podcast.
Well, sorry. I
before you
assume.
tell the story, Zach,
You do a podcast?
I'm beginning to think that Zach and Willie have the same wardrobe creators. Because look, he's wearing like a big thick vest, Zach, for you. Because Zach, I mean,
like
it's,
that.
it's 65
puffy
degrees.
vest.
That's
Well, Jason just walked out of the duck blind. Didn't really have to bring the wardrobe.
It was 65 degrees up
First time I did the podcast, I got the first question at about minute 72, so I figured there wasn't even a camera on me.
Were you even mic'd it up?
Yeah.
That is true.
First time we had it, that was back when we were down at the
Willie showed
And I
up.
go duck hunting today, and I'm in the back of the blind too. So,
Oh, you
it
got
was
the
one of
back?
those- yeah.
Well, we had a
Well,
great
Si-
hunt. And
we had it. I think we had it worked out, and then Si last night said, "Hey, I'm in, boys." So-
invited himself.
and I don't get anywhere near 4 feet of side and duck
Oh,
blind.
no.
So, I just sat back and watched the action.
So let me ask
I
you
didn't know
about.
I was sitting beside him. You didn't tell me this. Okay.
Some
Before we
things,
get within 4
some
feet,
things
Dave, you
is better
sit
for you
here.
to learn the hard way.
Before we tell the Dave Ramsey
put Dave
Zach's
beside
story, Zach, I want to hear about your duck hunt that your experience. Is that the first time you've ever duck hunted?
Only the second.
Second.
It was incredible. I mean, I'm hunted with the dynasty. I mean, come on.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
yeah. You were in a place.
Hey, I get to tell people I hunted.
That's right.
Well, I hunted and while Willie wrote his memoir sitting on the back bench. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
He actually, I will I was an eyewitness to this. That's why I was asking you about the Bible earlier. Because we had downed a teal, and it was real pretty, that teal. And even though he didn't look like, I just knew it was a vital heart shot. And so I took off to go get him. Well, when I was coming back, as I was entering the blind, I heard somebody say, "Shoot him." And so I just came up and watched the action, and it would just boom, 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 boom. I thought, boy, they're ripping them. And I look out, and there's 2 ducks still flying. And my son shot one, and you shot the other. I was looking right down your gun barrel.
Oh, wow.
Impressive.
Si said he shot both those.
Well, he did. But
After they hit the water.
when I looked at Si, when his gun went off and Reed shot, I looked at Si, and he was already reloading. So he wasn't a part of that.
So his 3 went by real quick.
Yeah, he went boom, boom, boom. Look how many I got.
Well, I'm glad you got the experience, Dave. So
It was incredible.
So,
Amazing.
Willie, you got to tell this story. It's a one we've told a lot, many times, but I don't think we've ever told them.
You know, I've never brought it up since it happened.
Yeah. I hear this at least 12 times a year, Dave. So this is not
Okay.
new.
It's the famous Dave
You're
Ramsey
the one,
story.
yeah.
Oh, no.
So,
What did I do?
when I was, I'm hustling, trying to make money, and so I'd go clean up people's yards and construction debris, and
Willie was an outside guy, and he was a bit of a pyromania. He liked to do fire.
Love to burn. He
from
loved to burn.
an early age.
always been a burner.
Always
yeah.
raking and
He's a
burning,
burner.
raking and burning.
So this is probably when I'm at Duck Commander, right?
probably early.
Yeah,
stage.
probably just
Yeah.
started the company.
It just started.
And then my cousin Zach built this nice house in a country club, and so he calls.
He's a pharmaceutical guy at this point.
Yeah, he's
making
rolling
big
in
money.
the cash, and
Yeah.
so he hires his cousin to come clean. So I've been out there all day, and he finally walks out there,
Check
with
on
the-
his
yeah,
work,
yeah, with his robe on,
That's not exactly.
his gold chains.
Got a pipe.
Oh yeah, he's like, looking at me. He's like, "Hey, come here," And so chop
This
chop.
story
What's your name? What's your name? Willie? Is that your name?
So he's like, what's
They were still calling you Jess back then.
he goes, "What's your plan, man? What are you gonna do?" And I said, I think I'm good. And he said, "Man, I'm on this Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey, he has changed."
No,
my
I went to
life,
pay
and
you. I went to pay you, and I pulled out the envelopes, Dave. And
Yeah,
I went to pay.
yeah. He pulled out the
And
envelope.
it had yard work.
and
on it.
he's
Yeah.
like, "What is that?" And then I
Yeah,
So-
okay.
so he has
Willie's
a-
getting money, and he's going to
So
trash
he
talk
pulls
you while he's
100.
getting money.
He pulls 100. He slips that back in. He's digging. He's fishing for something smaller. And how many hours you work back here? And he says, "I'm on this Dave Ramsey plan. I'm telling you, it's he said in 5 years. I can't remember what you told me. In 5 years you were going to have, but he said in 5 years I'm going to have this." Now he's preaching your message.
Yeah, it's like we're off the radio.
Unlike
I'm an
Jase, he had
evangelist.
actually
I'm an
heard your
evangelist.
message, and so he says, "What about you? You need to get on this plan." And I said, "I'm all right. I just, I'm just, I think I'll be okay." And he said, "No, I'm telling you, man, you're going to end up. What, you want to clean yards the rest of your life? I'm just wearing it. I'm wearing it." And right before we leave, he said, "Let me just tell you what. Right now, you do what you do. I'm gonna do what I do. We'll see who comes
Oh.
out ahead." And I
Whoa.
said, "Okay." And I loaded the trailer.
That's
up
not
and-
exactly how it happened. You were ridiculing me.
And-
You weren't quite as humble as you're coming across
Lo
right now.
and behold, who was cleaning the yard and who built the house? So tell me
was- I
who
was
was
there
training.
trashing the guy with
Listen, I
hundreds in an
wasn't-
envelope. You were trashing the guy with hundreds in an envelope.
Saying I'm doing
That
the
was
yard
you.
work, so don't be saying
we know
I'm acting
what
like I'm
happened.
humble. I was the one cleaning the yard.
and now.
So what happened was,
Is Zach one of your
as
best
fate
employees?
would have it. So I worked really hard. I had done Dave's plan actually, so I knew the whole plan myself, and worked hard. Ended up growing the business. The show came along, and then I remembered that when he told me that, and so I called him just to see
How he was doing.
how exactly he was. Yeah, I just wanted to see where we were in the race,
Wow.
And then I called him again, and then I'd call him. Just stuff would happen, and I would call him. And it was actually when I spoke at your event. I was at the the Gaylord, and they have a 2-story. They have a 2-story room at that hotel. I never seen anything like it. And so Zach actually you got a video that one.
I did.
Yeah, you got a FaceTime from me on that one.
Hey, remember that time? Remember that time you said you
Remember
did
that? Remember I was hitting golf
Here I am
balls
in
and
the
I was
presidential
chipping
suite
golf
at the
balls
Opryland.
in the room. And I said, Zach, tell me how exactly where are we at still? So y'all brought that up a few times, and now Dave is here, Zach. So
Hey,
go.
but to be fair, Dave, I've never been in debt because of you. So that's
I'm
worth
honored.
something, right?
I'm honored.
So after the holiday craziness, the last thing I want to do is overthink dinner. I don't know about you guys.
Well, what I've noticed as I get older is that Missy and I are doing a lot of cooking for a lot of people.
Well, and you have to be practical, right? Because we're also cooking extra for Mom now that we're providing food for her. That's why our friends at Home Chef are a big help, And I've tried their dinners before. They come, they're ready to go. We had the kickin' chicken recently. It's really good. It's really creative. It's really fresh.
Well, Home Chef is rated number 1 by users of other meal kits for quality, convenience, value, taste, and recipe ease. Home Chef makes cooking simple, fresh food delivered right to your door, and it has very easy to follow instructions and meals that actually taste great, and they are amazing. And now with the dishes co-created alongside celebrities like Chef Gordon Ramsay, you can enjoy restaurant quality meals at your own home. They even have a dedicated family menu for hassle-free 4 to 6 serving dinners. And it's not a one-size-fits-all. They have over 30 meal options each week with choices for different tastes and diets. Plus, it's affordable because Home Chef customers save an average of $86 a month on groceries. So for a limited time, Home Chef is offering our listeners 50% off and free shipping for your first box plus free dessert for life. So go to homechef.com/unashamed. That's homechef.com/unashamed for 50% off your first box and free dessert for life. Homechef.com/unashamed. Must be an active subscriber to receive free dessert.
I love to hear that story. It's so good. And usually he tells the same story about his father-in-law too, similar. when at your events.
No.
All right, so how did y'all meet? Because
We met online. It just said man seeking another man's friendship.
Yeah, said wild and woolly bearded guy looking for companionship. But the
This is sounding weird now. This is Unashamed After Dark.
I'm gonna blame this on Adam LaRoche. Yeah, so
Adam
Adam
LaRoche.
and I have been buddies, and so
Adam was the
I've been doing a
connector.
pheasant hunt with about 10 guys that I'm close to that all solid dudes, and Adam had gone with us a couple times, and I don't know, we were doing something. He said, "Hey, you need to include Willie." I said, "Yeah, I never met Willie. Let's do it."
Yeah.
And so the first time I met you, I picked you up here at the airport.
Yeah.
And we flew up to South Dakota. And actually, it wasn't the first time we met, but it's the first time we hung out.
Yeah,
we
first-
actually met in the green room at Fox 2 or 3 different
That's
times.
true. That's true.
Rachel and I were doing a book tour.
Rachel, was that her
15
book? Was that
yeah,
her?
15
Maybe like
years
her
ago.
first book.
It was
Yeah.
probably her first book. It's probably
Yeah.
15 years ago.
Yeah, we did. We met at the.
Probably
yeah,
could
that's
pull
right.
up the picture, but yeah, long time ago. And Hannity's, we were getting ready to do Hannity.
That was it.
And that was the first time. And you guys, that's when you guys were like white hot right
Yeah.
then. That first show, first round, it was going crazy. And anyway, we went on that trip and hung out, and we're just cut from the same cloth. We love people, love Jesus, and love talking to people about it.
Shot a lot of pheasants and
Killed a lot of birds. Killed a lot of
Dave's gotten into golf, so we played
How's that go?
several rounds of golf. I'm trying to teach him the art.
Has he
of
got
the
into your gray matter? That's what we
I try
Willie.
teaching the art of
You know,
the trash talk.
I'm so bad, he leaves me alone.
Oh, okay.
It's the other people he messes with. And
Yeah,
he's
some of
trying-
your
he's trying to
friends-
actually. Yeah, he's trying. The only thing he doesn't make fun of me occasionally. Like I was doing a practice swing on a tee box and I hit the dirt pretty hard, and he's like, 811, call 40 And so, yeah.
Dave Ramsey has the swing. I can see it from 500 yards away, and if you didn't tell me, I know his swing. Every
that's
time
really
he has
scary.
a unique.
That's
unique
probably
swing.
not good.
That's
Dave.
not good. That's not a compliment. But
Yeah.
but that's okay. It's good. I'm still having fun, and I'm too wired up and too intense a person to play golf, and so I never played till I was 58 years old, 7 years ago.
Oh wow.
So I just picked it up because I'd be that twerp throwing his clubs in the
it sounds like
pond
stoned.
and all that stuff. So my wife said, we need to do this, and we're always sitting on these super fancy resort things when we're traveling, and it's like having a Ferrari in the driveway and not knowing how to drive. So you need to learn how to do this, at least not be embarrassed completely. So we started learning to play, and I just said, okay, I'm not going to be that guy. I'm going to vow. I'm just going to be disciplined, and the secret to happiness is low expectations, and that's my golf motto. So I just don't care, and I just have fun,
That's
and I
why
get to
you
hang
have
out with
to-
cool people.
that's why you have to
And
do it.
Willie's a really good golfer. And the last time we went on the trip, though, there was 8 of us, and some good golfers on that trip, and some weren't. And
we make it. Yeah,
we had a good time.
the first time. So when Adam and I we were together and we were setting up the golf bet. So Adam and I were like, oh, we're going to hustle these guys. So we said you and Dr. Henry Cloud that we were going to play y'all, but y'all definitely sniffed.
Henry played at SMU with Payne Stewart.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So Henry's a good golfer.
But they sniffed through that. They knew they were,
But he had messed up knees, and so Willie's line was, "I'll take the cripple." Starting to mess with Henry already.
started.
He's working on him.
and then
He
we went so
took
far.
one of
Henry,
the world's best known psychologists and completely pissed him off.
and how mad did he get at me on the
He
golf
was
course?
so.
I mean, he was.
I've never seen Henry that way. I've known Henry 20 years. I've never seen him close.
you realize
Willie could
if
take
I get in the
guy
gray
that's written
matter
the book
at-
about
And then
of Henry Cloud,
the problem was though he activated and he kicked Willie's butt.
which was.
He just destroyed.
That's all I was looking for. I just wanted a reaction, and I wanted to see. I like seeing people.
No, you wanted to win.
No. That's where you
lying.
miss. It doesn't matter if I win. I want to see them either rise up or just fold
Fall
up.
apart.
And either way is equal joy to me. It's so fun watching people
You
do
see
that.
now
so.
while we fought every day for about
yeah.
7 years. We had one fight and it lasted 7 years.
it just
it
would
should
pick
be.
up where it left off.
The 7-year war.
My dad one time pulled over. We were like 2 miles from the house. We were pretty young, and he's like,
More than 2.
maybe 3 or 4. He was like, "Get out,
Get
now,
out.
both
Get out of
of
the
you."
car.
We were like, "What?" He's like, "Walk," and gone.
He just took off. Left us in the highway.
But back then you could do that. Now everybody's panicking.
Can you imagine just
Dad's
telling your
line
kids,
was
get out of the
when you hear the meat popping, boys. That's when the
meat
discipline
starts
comes
popping.
in. Meat
He just
popping.
had enough, Said that's it.
So my mama used to say, "The worm has turned." I didn't know what that meant, except the beatings were about to begin, right? And found out later it was Shakespeare. Who knew Mom knew Shakespeare? But
Well, for my tribe of people, I want to know how you got started doing this. Is that
Sure.
a dumb question?
no, it's not a dumb question at all.
How do you become
It was
the
actually
guru?
on the list, Jase.
Oh,
that
is
you
it?
never got to. Yeah.
Yeah, I never looked at
But
it.
the I don't know, make it it can be a very long story, and I don't want to do that. But when I got out of school, Sharon and I were broke, and she about 2 weeks after we got married, she remembered she was a Baptist, and we had not. I grew up hell raising, beer drinking character, and so. That's who she married. And then she comes in and says, "We're going to church." And I said, "We ain't doing nothing. You can go to church. It's football Sunday, and I'm going to be watching football and drinking beer is what I'm going to be doing." So she cried and went off. And in Nashville, there's more Baptists than people, so it didn't take her long to find her tribe. And so she starts going to church and praying, her and those Baptist people praying for her heathen husband. And so I went to this sales conference, and the guy said, "If you're going to win at business, you're going to have to meet this guy named Jesus, because you will never learn how to treat people until you know him. You'll never treat people right. You'll be a taker rather than a giver, and everybody can smell a taker a mile away."
Wow.
And I
like this guy.
I do
yeah,
too.
it was good. It was a good line. So I came home. Me and my beer drinking buddy were at the conference. We go back to the hotel room and got out the Gideon Bible, which is useless because it's blind leading the blind, because it was King James. I mean, it's like Shakespeare and Jesus. So there's no way this redneck's getting through this. I'm just saying. So we go back. I told my wife we're going to church, and she's like, "Who are you, and what'd you do with my husband?" And I wandered in the back door of church at 23 years old and met God radically. And I was the dumbest guy there because I didn't know anything. And the preacher would say, "And you know when they threw Joseph's brothers threw him in the hole?" And I'm like, "Nope, don't know Joseph, don't know the hole." Yeah. But I don't like being the dumbest guy in the room. And by midnight, I will know everything about Joseph, and I will stay up until I read it and learn it and read it and pull it out. I'm going to take it apart. So that was 40 years ago and 45 years ago almost, and that's been the process. So I'm telling you that because I met God, and then right as I was doing that, I started buying and selling real estate, and I got rich. I had $4 million worth of real estate when I was 26 years old, $1 million net worth, and in 1984 I made $250,000 back when that was a lot of money.
Were you thinking at that point, boy, this following God thing?
Yeah, I'm thinking this Jesus stuff's great.
That guy was right.
Those big hair people may have something, but no, but I had violated everything in this book about money. I had borrowed money up to my eyeballs. I was spending everything I make. I was shallow, Jaguars and Rolexes and all this crap. And God says, I don't think I can use him in this condition, so we're going to have to do a little work here.
Uh-oh.
So
Humility training.
Banks called our notes, and we spent the next 2.5 years losing everything we owned.
Yeah.
And so we were sued, we were foreclosed, and finally at 28 years old, we were bankrupt. And so with a brand new baby and a toddler and a marriage hanging on by a thread, we got to start over. And so we've got it on the side of, and come in our building, it says, I met God on the way up, I got to know him on the way down. And so when we hit bottom, somebody said there's Bible says some stuff about money, and there's a guy teaching it named Larry Burkett on Christian radio. Would you, and I'm like, the Bible talks about money? What? I've got a finance degree. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, I want to know. Because obviously the stuff I learned didn't work. I mean, who taught me to borrow money? My finance professor who was broke.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that picture? It's like a shop teacher with missing fingers, right? So, so we get the opportunity to start again and start learning God's ways of handling money and start applying it in our lives. And then pastor called up one day and said, hey, there's a guy in my office in foreclosure. Can you help him? I'm like, yeah, I used to buy him, and then I was one. So, yeah, I can help him. And so I went over, and once you do something at church to help somebody, it's like every night you're there after that.
Yeah.
So we suddenly had a financial ministry at the church helping people that were hurting. And a guy on a local radio station, back when talk radio was just getting started, Rush Limbaugh was 1 year in, 36 years ago, 1992, so whatever that was, 34 years ago. The station was in bankruptcy, and the guy quit, and one of my buddies said, we ought to go over and do that talk radio show. And I'm like, there ain't any money in radio. And he goes, yeah, but we could get some leads, and I'd written this little book, and he said, you might even sell some of that stupid little book you wrote. And little did he know.
So one of the things that's really difficult when you are buying your first home is if you don't know what you're doing, it's extremely stressful. And it's so important to have someone around you that knows what they're doing, that you can trust, which is why I want to tell you about my friends Andrew and Todd. These are great guys. I've known them for years. Look, when you buy a home, it is one of the most important decisions that you'll ever make financially. And now, for the first time in years, buyers actually have the upper hand. The reason why is because there's more inventory on the market, which means that you have a lot more negotiating power with less competition. But opportunities like this, they don't last long, because as soon as the feds cut the rates, what happens is the buyer demand spikes up, and you know what that means. Prices go up with it, and then sellers have the advantage. I want to encourage you to reach out to get approved for mortgage financing with Andrew and Todd at andrewandtodd.com, or you can call 888-888-1172. I know Andrew and Todd personally. These guys are men of God. They love Jesus. And I think it's extremely important to work with people that you can trust. And these are the guys that I trust. With 40 years of experience, they really are the experts. And they make it easy because they keep everything in-house. So call 888-888-1172 or visit andrewandtodd.com.
We started on that station, and it took off. I mean, and we were really bad. I mean, it was like Daryl and his other brother, Daryl, doing talk radio. It's like, WWTN, we're talking Nashville. Y'all call in right now. We'll help you with your money. I mean, it was nasty, but yeah.
You had young ones like Zach out there just
Early adopter.
And then, and 5 years later, I had voice coach and cleaned up enough because people in Boston couldn't even understand me. So, and they wouldn't put me on the radio anywhere because it wasn't credible. It sounded like I was broadcasting from a double wide or something. And so they
There's anything wrong with that.
there's nothing wrong with it, but if you want to reach Boston, you're going to have to work on this.
Exactly.
So you got to get better at your craft. So 5 years later, we're probably on in Monroe. 7 years later, we're probably down here doing that at some of those first few events that we did, and then we started doing events and selling books. But it basically started because, as my friend Larry Crabb says, I don't trust a man doesn't walk with a limp. And so God uses wounded healers. And he talks through donkeys. And I signed up. So here I am,
what an
Lord.
amazing
Here I am,
story.
Lord. Send me. So
Yeah.
it's spent my whole life now. And so now there's 1,000 folks at Ramsey doing all kinds of things. And 50,000 churches have now taught 10 million people. Financial Peace University. 48% of the high schools, including your boys, have gone through our high school curriculum. 6 million kids in high school have gone through it.
Wow.
And the numbers on the broadcast are just staggering. They're mind-blowing. I can't even get my head around it. But it's just like, God can do anything if you just yield. And, he said, feed my lambs. And so we went with it. We went for it.
That's awesome.
Don't you think, Dave, it's like, because I relate so much to your story, going through really hard times to learn. I love the message. I wrote it down. That as you now get older and have that chance to look back over the scope of what you just told our audience, that you can really appreciate and see so much more of what God was doing through the process of instead of just like when you're in the moment, you're just doing it, right?
Yeah.
And you're just trying to, one thing leads to the next. But I don't know, when we look back over the scope of how big God is and what he accomplished, it just, I don't know, it's so much sweeter to me.
Yeah, when you're in the middle of it, it's the Isaiah, I'm a lamp at your feet, so you can see 3 feet at a time.
Right.
And then when you look back, because you're old, you got perspective, and you start to see the providence and the sovereignty of God. That His hand, He really, I kind of thought I had something to do with it, and that's laughable. It's like, I work real hard, and I'm really good, and I improve my craft, and I'm going to add, I'm better now than I was, and I'm a better dad now than I was, and I'm a better father now than I was, and better husband now than Sharon, I tell you, we've been married 43 years. Thank God she's not still married to that guy. And so, you got to get better, but it's our efforts are so multiplied by the great I Am. And in a math formula, anytime you multiply something by the infinite, the answer on the other side is infinite.
Yeah.
Other side of the equal sign. And so it's pretty incredible. It's been a wild ride, and I'm about as happy and grateful a guy as you'll run into.
One of the things you said that I've picked up on for me that's been so profound, I've taught this to my kids too, not just about money, but there's a principle that I think is so key. That I think you say something like, don't trade what you want most for what you want right now. Right. And I've told my kids that, like, just not just about money, but just about everything, sexuality, everything. Don't trade what you want most for what you can have right now. Like, just that prolonged, delayed gratification is such a rare. That's a rare thing in our culture. But that transcends a lot.
Well, I mean, you're exactly right. The ability to delay pleasure is it's a sign of emotional and spiritual maturity, for that matter, but it always pays off, because there is no such thing as good microwave barbecue. There's no such thing. You have to cook it, and a long time till the dogs in the neighbor's yard are howling. Right, you've got to cook it, and so
that's true.
And our lives are the same way. Like you said, your sexuality, your careers, your your ability to do anything, and certainly saving money is a pretty primitive and basic thing on that. Live on less than you make, a concept Congress can't grasp. And, that's basic stuff, right? And so, but I made a living with that, just telling people what they already know. And they go, well, I could have sold 1 million books. I already knew that. And I'm like, well, you didn't write it down, dude. I mean,
yeah, it really is just, it's super counterculture. I mean, your message is so like counter. I often think about this too. Like, you don't hear like they're saying like, oh, the economy's dragging because people aren't spending. Like, we need need the holidays so people will spend. And I'm like, are we supposed to go spend? Or are we supposed to?
Well, we're going to remember. Even like 2008, we're going to, or even after COVID, we're going to stimulate the economy by giving you money to go spend.
Right.
And it's so backwards. It's just ridiculous.
It's almost like the game is rigged. Right? It's rigged for you to spend.
And it's like right now the big thing is the Gen Z. There's a lot of and the millennials, which are two fabulous generations, by the way. But the like your boys are just studs, man. Yeah. And so just solid. But everybody's talking about affordability. They can't do anything because of inflation. They can't do anything of that. Because they can't do anything because of inflation. House prices, they're boxed out. Well, bullcrap. What happened was this. it's pretty simple. We have the highest credit card debt ever this year. We have the highest car debt ever this year. 20% of the people that left a car lot last month took on more than $1,000 a month car payment. And we have the highest student loan debt. So we got people with $300,000, $150,000 in student loan debt to get a degree in left-handed puppetry, right? And it's just, and you put those three things
pay 'em a
together,
whole $30,000 a year
Put
today.
all that junk in your budget and look and see how much is left, called disposable income, and there's not any.
Right.
So the affordability crisis is because the big banks and Congress and with the student loan program that they continue to talk about how bad it is, but they continue to do it.
Yeah.
While they're talking about it, and Biden, got blamed for 9% inflation following COVID, but it really wasn't his fault. It's just everybody came out of their house like a Baptist looking for a casserole after they were trapped, right? And they went nuts, man. So people went spending and stuff went straight through the roof,
Exactly.
And that was supply demand, and we shut down the world's largest economy in history, and then we're surprised that when we reopened it, that it took off. Well, of course not. That's some basic econ.
Yeah.
So anyway, all that to say, the affordability crisis is created by these banks preying on these two generations, and they grew up with a magic wand in their hand that says, I can push an easy button and anything happens fast.
Yeah.
Easy. I can access all of human history knowledge right here. I can push a button, stuff shows up on my porch, and I keep pushing a button wanting to buy a house, and I can't because I've been trapped by these big banks that have put me so far in debt. They've been victimized by this stuff that's out of control. So that's what that is. That's what that all comes back to. Don't get me started on the villains in my story. The villains are real.
Yeah. We like
Hey,
you
you're
started
getting
them.
fired up.
Oh, I know. Well, he's firing me up. So what do you tell these people when they say, well, I spend it all? I mean, what is the normal Q&A? How does this work? Because
They'll just call in and say, I can't. My wife and I aren't on the same page, or I'm in debt and I'm behind on my car payment. What am I going to do? And I'm like, we used to say that the subtitle of the show was "Sell the Car," because the answer to every question is sell the car. Because you got a $1,000 car payment, dude, and you make $50,000 a year, and you're driving a $70,000 F-150. Well, dumb. That's just dumb. You can't do that.
Right.
Math doesn't work. I don't care. Well, the finance manager and I prayed together. Well, he was on crack. I mean, I'm just like, this is crazy, Who makes you that loan? How do you get this
And
loan?
crack is expensive, so that's
I was sitting with one little couple, and they at a church counseling them, and he said, God gave us this car. And I said, absolutely he did not. And he goes, well, how are you so sure? And I said, because the Bible says the blessings of the Lord have no sorrow added to them. And your car payment is half of your take-home pay, and you're telling me you can't feed your babies. God did not give you this car. This car will represent sorrow. It's 100% a curse. It was from the other side.
Yeah.
That's where this came from.
Right.
So you need to sell the car. You mean I need to sell the car? Yes, you need to sell the car. And that's what it sounds like every day. Yeah. And it's like, so we tell people to get on a budget, get 3 extra jobs. There's a great place to go when you're broke, to work, and go rake leaves and
Clean yards.
clean up
That's a
yards.
great
And,
idea.
which made me think of that verse immediately popped in my head. It's not like you told him to go sell everything he had and follow Jesus.
no, I just the car.
just the car. I mean,
just a lesser car. Yeah,
have
just
you ever
not-
used that example? I'm just asking for the car. I'm not going biblical and say sell it all.
and follow him. And he went away with his head hung low, for his possessions
Oh
were
yeah,
great.
he wasn't willing to do it. And you probably see the same thing happen in your discussion.
Yeah, in the past, I've spent a lot of time trying to manage the finances. It's quite a bit of work, but since I switched over to Rocket Money, I found, hey, you know what? These guys take the work out of it for you and gives me a lot more time to spend with my family. Another thing I noticed, I was paying for the same subscription up to 3 times on some of these things. It was absolutely ridiculous. I didn't even realize it. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, helps you monitor your spending, and it helps you lower your bills so that you can grow your savings. Rocket Money certainly helps me stay on budget, and I can see all my subscriptions in one place. And if I see something I don't want, Rocket Money can help me cancel it. Rocket Money's dashboard gives you a clear view of all your expenses across your accounts with automatic transaction categorization and tags that will show your spending patterns. You can also create personalized budgets to help keep your spending on track, and you can get alerts if your bills increase in price or if there's any kind of unusual spending activity. Plus, they have a goals feature that can help you determine the best time each month to put a little extra money aside. Rocket Money will even try to negotiate lower bills for you. They deal with the customer service team so that you don't have to do that. So let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. All you got to do to join is go to rocketmoney.com/unashamed. That's rocketmoney.com/unashamed. rocketmoney.com/unashamed.
You can hear because the medium is so it's one-sided because it's only audio. Now we've got YouTube and other stuff, but it's only audio, and so everyone listening can hear that they're not going to do it.
Oh yeah,
you can hear the way their voice catches and their syntax shifts, and you can tell when somebody's not, the light bulb has not gone on, or you can go, yeah, that one's got it. They're going to go do it. They're going to charge the gates of hell with a water pistol. They're going to go. They're going to do it, man. And you get them fired up, and they're like, yeah. And then they'll call me back years later, and now we take people through a thing called the baby steps to walk through how to get out of debt and how to build wealth. And now we call them baby steps millionaires because they come in 8, 10, 12 years later, and they're millionaires because they got out of debt. As a borrower, slave to the lender, and they lived on less than they make because a foolish man devours all he has. And they wrote out a plan because Jesus said, don't build a tower without first counting the cost, unless you get halfway up and you're unable to finish and can't pay your car payment. And, that wasn't Jesus, but that last part was me. But
Well, you're bringing up a lot of childhood memories just, with my children. And because we kind of made a deal, and this is my wife's idea. She was like, we'll pay, for your college if your character is reflecting that. There were some conditions to even that.
Yeah.
Well, it was weird that all three of my kids, they were like, well, we want to go to a non-Christian university. And so my wife was like, okay, well, you're paying for it. But it was amazing that they all changed their mind at some point in that process, figuring out how they were going to make that work. But it was the same thing with a car, because I used to tell them, and I've told this to all my kids at least 10 times, when we first got married, we had one car. And they always responded the same way. They were like, well, what did you do? And I said, I walked, or I got a ride, But they were just like, how is that even possible? I was like, I tell you what, it made me appreciate when I did have enough money to have two cars.
Amen.
And so while they were in college, we got each one of my three kids a car at some point, just because they were walking with Christ. They were working hard. They were making good grades. But what shocked me was it wasn't like I went and got a brand new car. They were all clunkers. But they all had the same response. And I'm like, because they're like, wow. That's quite. They weren't that excited because it was a clunker. And I thought, look, I'm not here to make your life comfortable. I'm just saying this will beat walking, taking the bus, and hitchhiking, and then you learn an appreciation and to work hard. And one day you might can buy yourself a brand new car, but it ain't coming from me. We're gonna struggle to get there.
We had our kids growing up on commission, not on allowance. Allowance sounded like welfare to me, so I wanted them on. You work, you get paid. You don't work, you don't get paid. And so, and then we told them save money for the first car, and I would match it. We had 401 Dave. Yeah. So whatever you save up, I'll match it.
Well, that was kind of my point. I think we help our kids. It's fine to help them, but you're trying to teach them some basic.
Because you don't want to be the second magic button, right?
Exactly.
That's because you're going to create the same thing.
Exactly. And my job, I kept telling them, Andy Andrews always says this, hunts with us, he's a buddy of ours, and my job is not to raise great kids. My job is to raise kids that become great adults.
Yeah, that's good.
And that's a different process. That's a different mindset. And so, you're going to learn, like one of them leaned back. We finally, after going broke, we finally got a decent car. And one of them leaned back and said, we're doing pretty good. I said, we ain't doing nothing. I'm doing pretty good. You're broke.
That's the Shaq line.
You're broke.
Shaq said, when his kids said, we're rich, he said, well, we ain't rich. I'm rich.
You got nothing.
You got nothing. That's good. I love it. Well, I think there's and we were talking about a minute ago from a biblical perspective, because we kind of referenced the rich young ruler. And I always thought that, Luke putting those stories back to back with the rich young ruler, and you remember having the walking away sad. And then right in the next chapter, we get Zacchaeus, who is also wealthy, we assume, tax collector, but a pariah, who then, though, has this moment, where he really understands who Jesus is, because he comes to his house, and he immediately, without even being prompted, says, I'm going to give 4 times
Yeah.
what some of my dishonest. I mean, I want to make things right. And I love that picture of the two. But Dave, I love it. I think one of the reasons why people can relate is because of your story. Because last night, so we had a birthday celebration for Mom, and Dave was able to join us for part of that.
It was an honor. Thank you for having me.
It was so great. And you met Mom, and so I jokingly said, Mom, you want to tell Dave about some of those 30% interest loans, back in the early days of the business? She said, I don't want to talk about money with him. But you told her, you said, Miss Kay, I've had higher and worse. And it was just in the moment, I appreciated that so much because I thought to myself, that's why God has blessed you to then impact other people, because you're telling them what you've learned from not only your relationship with Him, but by the hard knocks, by the humility training. And the same could be said for our family. I mean, we never imagined having a television show or people love us and all these things that happen. We're just living life. Mom was trying to make things work. Willie and Corey kind of came in and took it to the next level. And none of it was really planned, but it was part of the plan, And so I think that's why we relate so much to sort of your approach. And I love it because it's a humility that goes also with strength and the no bull crap, which go together.
Well, in the Rich Young Ruler and Zacchaeus and all of that kind of does weave together in a beautiful tapestry, because one of the things that happened to me because of the way I got saved, because of the way I met God, I didn't have to think about giving or being generous because it's really easy to give away other people's money.
Yeah.
So once I met God, it flipped, and the stewardship thing for me was instantaneous. I don't own anything.
Yeah.
And once I don't own anything, then I can give away fourfold.
Yeah.
But the problem is, if you hold on to it, you have to walk away with your head down.
Yeah.
But if you go, it's not just a tithe, it's not a love offering, it's not a generosity or philanthropy. It's just, I don't own it. So what do you want to do today, God?
That's right.
What are you going to do with this today? But then people misuse that sometimes. We had a guy come into the lobby at the office, and he said, God told me that you were going to give me a new van. And I said, no, he didn't. And he said, oh, yeah, he did. And I said, no, he didn't. He goes, what do you mean? I said, well, if he had told you that he was going to give you a new van, there would have been one sitting out there with keys, and it had been running when you got here, because he would have told me. And he hadn't told me. And so all this is you're one of these hucksters, and he's like, well, you're bad. Start cussing and screaming at me and running out the door yelling. But, because, hey, it's easy for me. I don't own it. Yeah. It's very easy for me to give away other people's money.
I love it. Willie, hadn't you said that forward? Somebody come in and say, God directed me to come.
Well, he sent me an email, and for the record, and Phil took this story and somehow made it his own. And Phil's like, here's Phil stealing my story. I was like, somebody sent an email. Lady said, God told me you were going to give me $32,000 to pay my house off. And I said, I didn't email her back to say,
no.
God should have told me
Don't
and
put
not
that in
you.
writing.
Yeah. So I told Dad. So Dad's like, here's Dad. Yeah, I got a letter the other day. I don't even know what an email is. I got a letter. This guy told me the whole story. And then he goes, yeah, God didn't tell me. He should have told me. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's my story.
Skip the middleman.
And he owned it so much that when I heard him tell it, I thought she must have sent him a letter and you an email. That's how much
I thought that was Phil's story.
Phil totally stole that story.
Oh, that's so funny.
I think Phil always just viewed everybody like, well, these are my kids. So that was
Yeah.
a reflection
These are
of me.
collective story. Yeah, these
Yeah.
are our
Yeah,
collective.
I own this because I made you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I did notice when we became famous and had money, there was a lot of people that came forth.
You found cousins you didn't know you had.
Oh, just all over the place. And just ways to give your money.
Oh, yeah.
But-
Oh.
Yeah, we're cousins somewhere down the line. Yeah. So you mentioned Rachel earlier. Is that your daughter?
Rachel is my middle, and she's one of what we call our Ramsey personalities, which is the next generation.
So how
Gen 2 coming
has
on.
that been fun to get to work in family and all that? I mean, just
it's
being able to share
it has
that.
been absolutely wonderful. We studied it a lot because it can be really bad, as everyone knows. And so, but Rachel she's a natural on the stage and on a microphone and on, she's beautiful, so she's on TV and, Today Show and Fox and everything all the time. And so, but she's 15 years old. She was on stage.
Wow.
She was she's a kid. She came out a dancing poodle. I mean, she's ready to go. And so, train up a child in the way he should go in the old King James, the way he is bent, the way he's designed, and when he's old, he'll not depart from it. Now that obviously references their spiritual walk, but also references their wiring.
Yeah.
And how they're put together. And so we said this child should be in front of the camera.
Yeah.
This child should not.
Yeah.
And so, and so we encouraged her that way, but didn't say she had to do it. But she came on, and then we've got, she's had 4 number 1 bestsellers, I guess, now.
Oh, wow.
And her social media footprint's just mammoth. It's huge. And so she does a great job, and she's a lot nicer, kinder than I am, and so they want to get her on the phone, and so she's sweet, and she'll tell them the truth, but she's much sweeter about it. I just go straight to it now. I don't have the time. I got to get to the next thing. She's the middle one, and we've got 6 people, 6 of us total, including me and her, that do the shows and do books, and you guys were just on. You were just looking at, you said, and you were on Ken Coleman's show the other day, Front Row Seat, which is blown up. It's a long-form interview show, and he's one of our guys, and so it's absolutely mammoth. So anyway, we all intermingle and do the main show, the Ramsey show, together.
Yeah, which is fun. I mean, that's been probably the best thing about what we do is getting to do, it together.
Yeah.
With our kids and our grandkids. A lot of people work through different companies and different platforms that we have, which is very similar.
Yeah, and Dave, what do you think about? You just talking about Rachel made me think about it. We've all worked for this company in different capacities over the years, but even as it comes to money and about this idea of fairness or treating every kid the same. I have 6 kids, and so all different types of personalities,
Gifts,
how they,
abilities,
and so do you think it's a problem when parents go, well, crap, I did this for this, once you start something out and then it's like they may not even say it's not fair, but you maybe you're guilty that maybe you're thinking, oh, I don't want this to seem where something can maybe set someone up great to do something, but it could also destroy another. So
Or open doors for jealousy and all this.
yeah, what's your thoughts on that as far as the idea of fairness?
Well, I mean, we
and
started, of
how do
course,
you
when they
treat-
were being raised. Mom and Daddy were in the real estate business, so I grew up on straight commission. So I knew if you work, you get paid. If you don't work, you don't get paid. And if you work more, you get paid more than somebody that doesn't work. So that's not fair. So actually, technically, equal is not fair. Because effort is not the same. It's not equal. Intellect is not equal. Outcomes produced are not equal. So if you're penalizing someone who worked twice as many hours, you're penalizing someone who has produced or chose to study something that gave them a tool in their belt to win versus someone who decided they were going to study something useless. And they got dull tools in their belt. And so equal. So we told our kids fair is where the tilt-a-whirl and the cotton candy is. So we don't have fair.
He's got the one line.
to
How
go.
many of these do you have?
It's like a never.
He keeps coming up. I'm like,
I love it,
I'm
though.
looking for the cheat sheet. It's not here.
All my kids, in the moment, we get so angry.
Yeah.
For decisions I'd make based on their personality and their, like what you're saying. But they've all come back now that they're older, out of the house, and say, I see why you did that. So
our kids don't get any pay at our company except for the position that they fill. And if you fill different positions, that position pays more than the other position. So like Rachel being a Ramsey personality, those guys, the people that are on air and out front for us get paid on their books, on their, we pay them royalties on their books, we pay them for their speaking, we pay them for other influencer things they get, and, the stuff, deals like y'all do, we do those same things, endorsement stuff, all that stuff. So if Rachel has that, so the first time we tested the theory to see if it was going to work in adulthood, they're all at Thanksgiving dinner. Rachel's first big book is coming out. I did the first one with her. The second one she did it on her own. Was her first. That was going to be huge. And so we're at Thanksgiving dinner, and I said, okay, guys, we don't usually talk business at Thanksgiving dinner, but I want to take a time out here for a second because this is a test for this family to see if this has worked or not. So Rachel is getting ready to have an incredible financial year. And this is your opportunity to decide if you're going to be jealous, entitled brats, or if you're going to be really happy for your sister. And I got to say, I'm very proud of them. They were instantaneously high-fiving. Let's lay hands and pray on her. Let's, yes, and we're happy, and so you just, nip the jealousy in the bud before it has time to grow, and go ahead and stomp it out, right?
Of course, you did set it up with that.
Yeah, the way he positioned it, but somebody's going to have to really be ballsy there.
Been a good idea.
I'll be a brat.
Yeah, you get to decide which you are. What is you? Decide. And so, and now, with the ownership, what we've done is we've transferred 99% of the company now to them. I own 1% and the only voting stock. And so each of them own a third. So out of the profits of the company, when we distribute, they get equal.
Right.
But they're also paid for their job. And my oldest daughter doesn't work at the company. So she doesn't get paid by the company.
Right.
Because she doesn't work there.
Yeah.
She runs our family foundation, and the family foundation pays her.
Yeah.
Right.
A direct, a regular salary for someone running a foundation that size.
Right.
Not 20 times more, not 20 times less. She just gets paid for that job. So stay in your role. And you get to decide what your role is. You can do whatever, and and their little brother is now the president of the company, and he runs 80% of it. I run about 20% with him. He and I are working together every day, and so again, now they've got this thing of he's now their boss.
Right.
That's a trip, So, but they respect him, and he's earned that respect because he's a quality, world-class leader, and so, but like Rachel's role is, when she's looking at her brother, she's actually looking at the president of the company that she works for, and when she's inside that building, she better act that way.
Right.
And
Hey, we all work for Willie at some point.
But what a novel concept. It's like, if you work, you get paid. I think that's what I'm hearing. You work really hard and you're really good at your job. However, you get paid more.
And if you don't work, you don't get paid. Is that? I think Paul said that.
It reminds me of what Phil used to say. He would name off all these isms. He was like, you got feminism and journalism and narcissism. He's like,
Fascism.
The only isms that I believe in is baptism and capitalism. He said that.
That was
off the top of his head.
That's a good one-liner. I will steal that instantly.
We just added one.
It actually made me go look ism words up,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm like, have we missed anything here? But I'm not sure. I found it.
I think Mom contributed the baptism. He first said capitalism, and she said, "What about baptism?" He said, "You're right, Miss Kay. We got to keep that one in there." All right, so we're out of time, man. That was fast podcast. But obviously, we talked some about money. I know there's a lot of our listeners out there, because we have a lot in those generations we talked about. They're probably in that struggle that you mentioned, and so they're going to be looking for help. So where can they go to get information from your organization? Where's the best place for them to go?
Well, the website's RamseySolutions.com. But
Okay.
let me just say that when we started 36 years ago, started applying those biblical truths, principles. If you read Proverbs over and over, you'll have a master's degree in finance.
Yeah.
And actually doing them in our lives, not just discussing them as theory. As we know, the word is a two-edged sword. I mean, it will cut, and it will do surgery on you, and it will change you and transform you, and you do not have to stay in the soup just because you found yourself in the soup. Maybe you put yourself in the soup. I did. But you don't have to stay there.
Yeah.
God has a plan. It's not to bring you harm, but to bring you hope. And it's real straight. And when you do, this is his love letter to a kid like me.
Yeah.
And when I live this way, it changes everything. I live on less than I make. I give every single week. I'm constantly tithing and giving, and we live on a plan. We're very intentional. We remember he owns it. We're running it.
Yeah.
stewardship issue, lordship issue, and when people start doing that, they understand the borrower is slave to the lender, and a lot of people know that one.
Yeah.
They've lived in it.
Yeah, that's right.
They live up to their eyeballs in debt and can't breathe. And you start getting rid of that junk in your life and getting rid of the debt that goes with the junk in your life, and you get a freedom, a sense of power that comes on you, and that's what Scripture and that's what God's love will do in these situations. So, that's what's really important here.
Amen.
I love it. Thanks.
Jase just texted me and said this guy should really consider a radio and podcast career. He's really good.
You can do it. I think he can succeed at
Dave,
it.
I think your best days are ahead, Dave.
You're gonna make it, Dave. You're gonna make
found you, Dave.
All right. We'll see you next time on Unashamed. Thanks for listening to the Unashamed podcast. Help us out by leaving a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. And don't miss an episode by subscribing on YouTube. And be sure to click the little bell and choose all notifications to watch every episode.